What's up, everybody? It's your favorite show, Get a Bucket. I'm your host, Trey, and as usual, I hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day. Today, we're going to talk about LeBron James signing with the 76ers. But before we do that, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Comment, tell anyone about the show. Trying to get the ratings up a little bit, just a little bit. And if you wonder where you heard this before, that's because you've been listening with me Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I greatly appreciate your support. Now, like I said, we're going to talk about LeBron James signing with the Philadelphia 76ers and how this impacts the NBA. Finally, for starters, it impacts the NBA because now we can start pairing matchups during the schedule. Who gonna go against who? You know what I'm saying? Like we've seen the first domino fall. So thank you, Bron. We appreciate you. Now, the starters for the 76ers. I think it's fair to say we're gonna have Joel Embiid, Jaylen Brown, Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, and LeBron James. Like that's going to be the starting five for the 76ers. The only caveat that I might even try to even entertain is maybe inserting Dean Wade into the starting lineup over VJ Edgecombe. That's the only thing that might even entertain. Okay. And that's only from a shooting perspective. When I'm looking at Joel Embiid, right? Plays center, most important player on the team. And I would love if Joel Embiid can give 25 and 10 a night. I think he has that level of production in him, right? Like he's done it before. Jaylen Brown, small forward. I'm looking at him as like the 1B, right? He can be the one option or the second option, but I kind of view him a little bit higher than that second option. And he'll also have to guard the best forwards, the wings, right? So again, I'm thinking maybe 25, maybe even 22, and adding some elite level defense. That would be my ideal role for Jaylen Brown on this team. Tyrese Maxey, point guard role. I'd like to see him at a third option, right? Plus a playmaker. And keep in mind, he's going to have a chip on his shoulder, ladies and gentlemen. How they lost to the Knicks this last season. It's a sweep, and you scored drastically lower than what you typically do. I'm looking for Tyrese Maxey to give about 20 points and 7 assists. I think that's fair, especially given what he just did last season, MVP-esque type season. I think it's fair for us to expect 20 points and 7 assists out of Tyrese Maxey, be that dynamic elite guard that we've seen before. Will he get an all-star appearance? Because of this team, he could, or he might not, because again, the votes. But let's see what happens. But that's what I'm at least expecting from Tyrese. LeBron James, power forward, playmaker, and rebounder, plus guarding those mobile bigs, right? Like when you have Joel Embiid on the floor, well, he's going to it's best if he's guarding the stationary bigs, right? I'd like for Braun to take on that challenge, even with his age. And I'm looking at least 15 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, close to that close to that 2015 Draymond Green, right? I think that'd be a fair role to expect out of LeBron James. And then finally for the young buck, VJ Edgecombe, shooting guard, shooter, plus guarding the best guards. Keep in mind, again, I'm thinking maybe 15 points, 12 to 15 points. I can think is fair to expect out of VJ, especially when we're looking at defense, right? I think VJ can give us 15 to 18, but we're going to, one, factor him on this team, and two, look at the role because he's going to make guarding the best guards in the NBA. Yeah, his scoring could dip a little bit, but he's also going to be open, so he's just got to knock down some shots. That's why I was thinking Dean Wade, because Dean can at least guard the small forwards. Jaylen Brown, you can put him at the shooting guard slot. Floor spacing still there. Plus, we got 2 big bodies. Also bringing VJ off the bench, paired with Anthony Simons. I would like that. Now, keep in mind, I said Dean Wade. Dean Wade is probably their best shooter on the team. I'm looking at 2 to 3 threes from Dean, okay, because he's giving about 37% from the 3 from his career. And I said probably the best 3-point shooter because Anthony Simons, who I'm expecting at least 12 to 15 points, possible 6th Man of the Year award recipient, right? Couple that with about 4 assists. He 38% shooter from the 3. So these 2 boys about to pair well with this starting 5. And you can interchange either one. Like, let's say Tyrese Maxey needs a break. Boom, Anthony comes in. You get a similar type role player. Dean Wade, he can replace Jaylen Brown or VJ Edgecombe to get you some spacing. So again, ladies and gentlemen, we got some players we can pick and plug and play with on this team. Dominic Barlow, power forward, rebound, and defense. Adem Bona, center, rebounder, and defense. Kentavious Caldwell Pope, small forward, shooting guard, 37% from three from career. Two-way player, right? 3-and-D player, right? Like the 76ers really did well in acquiring some talent. They did. And then they have some other pieces who you just got to wait your turn, right? The WYTs, if you will. Jabari Walker, Justin Edwards, LeBron Philon Jr., Ariel Huckporty. These are some players who can be interesting, but they are you know what I'm saying? Like the 11 through 15 roster for sure. So when we're looking at the 76ers starting five, let's just go into the heavy hitters, right? Because I've broken down the team roster and how I'm viewing them. Is this the best starting five in the NBA? Like we have teams like the Knicks, the Thunder, the Spurs, the Nuggets, the Rockets, Wolves, Wizards, Hawks, Magic. Don't think about the teams. Think about their starting five. I think it's fair to say that the 76ers have the best starting five in the NBA. Especially if you're just looking at it on paper. Like we haven't seen them play yet. But on paper, yeah, I think it's fair to say they have the best starting five in the NBA. It's arguable. At worst, it's arguable. Now, should they be viewed as the favorite to win the titles? Let's remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is a 2-year window because you acquire LeBron James and Jaylen Brown, who both kind of have a chip on their shoulder, something to prove. And I think they're going to try to make it work, right? And again, you got 2 years to make this thing work. So year one, all right, cool. You might not win. It's your first season together. Year two, after you get some cohesion, I think there's a case. But definitely within both years, we can expect them to be one of the favorites to win a title because their starting five is solid and their bench looks to be pretty good too. So that can carry over for at least 2 seasons. Now, couple quick fun facts to note. It's funny that they got LeBron James and LeBron Philon Jr. in the same season, in the same offseason. Like when I saw LeBron's name, I was like, okay, that always reminds me of LeBron James. So it's just cool to see that they're on the same team. Also, let's imagine the 76ers winning a title, right? This will be the first time that the 76ers have won a title since 43 years ago. So this kind of goes with the New York Knicks theme, right? When the New York Knicks ain't won a title since 50-something years ago. So I think this would be a nice new team to win the NBA title, right? Like, again, the Knicks' last title. Also, this adds to the parity era. This would be now since 2019, a new team has won the NBA championship and has not repeated. Has not gone back to back. Nothing like that. The parity era, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's something to note. So again, I would like to see at least the 76ers win it. If not next year, the next season after that. And no repeats too. Like, can we get to 10 teams back to back winning a title where there's no repeat winner? I'd like to see that personally. But if the 76ers did win the championship, who's the finals MVP? Like, for me, it's a jump ball because it's matchup dependent. Like, there's a world where Joel Embiid, Jaylen Brown, Tyrese Maxey, and LeBron James could win Finals MVP. VJ may be a bit of a stretch. I think that's a bit of a stretch right now. Put him as a long shot, and that's no disrespect because again, the roles that the other players are going to be playing, it's got to be noteworthy. Like for example, Joel Embiid, he has to win Finals MVP if he's going to continue to say trust the process, and if he wants that to really mean anything, if he wants that to really hold any weight. And if he doesn't, I think people are going to say, well, the process just got lucky. Like there's pressure on Joel Embiid to win a championship. He's arguably has the most pressure as a star to win a championship, to be clear. It's him and Luka with JT coming up or down the pipe. And I've already talked about that on another episode. So, if you want to listen to that, go ahead and listen to it. But he has pressure. Or imagine if Jaylen Brown. Well, hold on. Look, I just focused on the negative again. If he does win, I think that helps out his whole. It saves his whole career. His entire career gets saved. MVP, Finals MVP. You can't talk about Joel Embiid anymore. You can't. You can cool. You can say he had a good team, but again, he outclassed everyone on that team. He was the most dominant one on that team. That would help his legacy out for sure. So and again, if Embiid wants to have that trusted process moniker going, you got to win MVP, bro. Now, if Jaylen Brown wins MVP, well, that's actually fairly remarkable because we got to talk about where that moves Jaylen Brown in the NBA all-time rankings. You got to think about it, right? He's been a perennial time All-Star. He's had some all-defensive seasons, some all-NBA seasons. He has now 2 Finals MVPs, and that would be on different teams. And when we think about it, it's only been Kawhi, Braun, and Kareem who have won Finals MVPs on different teams. Those are the 3 only players in the history of the NBA to do so. Brown would be joining that group, that name. That's pretty rare air. That's pretty good company right there, ladies and gentlemen. So again, for Jaylen Brown, especially when you just got traded by the Celtics and they just said you didn't deserve that $70 million. Well, maybe winning a Finals MVP. Hell, who knows? Even maybe what if he wins another one? Like, what if he wins 3 Finals MVPs? I mean, when we talk about shooting guards, I'm not saying you are better than Kobe Bryant, but you get what I'm saying? Like, Kobe only has 2. That's more than what Jason Tatum has ever accomplished. So when we're talking about the Celtics, did you make the wrong trade? Did you trade the wrong guy? That's going to be something to talk about. So again, that's what Jaylen Brown's legacy will have impacted. Now with LeBron not winning Finals MVP, how does that affect your GOAT discussion? Okay, like the role that he plays on this team, if the 76ers do win the championship, I don't know if he can be lower than the 3rd option, which right now I have him pegged as the 4th option. And again, that's because you got Joel Embiid, Jaylen Brown, and Tyrese Maxey. Those are young guns. Outside of Joel Embiid, they're fairly healthy and pretty impactful. So again, LeBron, how does that affect his legacy? Because if he wins the championship, yes, it's your 5th. But when we talk about Kobe, we talk about Kareem, we talk about Jordan, talk about Magic, were they 4th options? Were they 3rd options? That's very arguable. It's very arguable. So again, ladies and gentlemen, LeBron, if you're going to win this championship, and we're talking about you in the GOAT discussions, that's going to be interesting how those conversations are going to go. Tyrese Maxey, it could even infect Tyrese because, again, NBA guard ranking, right? Your short guards, they coming back in style, especially if they win it again, like back-to-back. He didn't lead the team, but to be clear, he'll be one of the better players on the team again. So there's going to be a short guard impact, a short guard wave coming if Tyrese Maxey is able to win this championship. But if he wins Finals MVP though, that'll be again rare air. We're talking about Isaiah Thomas, Steph Curry, and Jalen Brunson as the only guards 6'3" or below to lead their team to a championship. And he has the talent to lead their team to a championship. Like he can score the most on this team and play make the most on this team. There's a world where that happens. And if that happens, especially in the NBA Finals, what's the chances that he don't win Finals? I'm just saying, like that puts him on another pedestal now. Hell, even VJ, I don't expect him to win a championship, right? But let's say he plays really well. I think there's a case that VJ would be a 76er for life. I genuinely do. And I've seen how we look at players like Harrison Barnes. This is not a jab at Harrison Barnes at all. But Harrison Barnes at least gets some respect. When we're talking about the Spurs, we were saying that, hey, they have players with playoff experience. So if VJ doesn't work out with the 76ers long term, other teams are going to want to utilize his services because he was on a championship team, especially at a young age. That's something you can parlay for your whole career. So again, ladies and gentlemen, a championship would impact all of these players quite nicely. Quite nice. Like even Anthony Simons, if you're 6th man of the year and you're able to win a championship with his team, you are an impactful piece to the team. A team that has not won in over 43 years. That's going to change your career drastically. A championship for this team, ladies and gentlemen, can change quite a few players. The organization will be thrilled. Philly back on the map. I know they'd be excited. What do they need though? Because it's not all sunshine and rainbows. I will say this: we are closing up the episode pretty soon, so we got to talk about their needs last. I will say this: sometimes I do, when I look at the roster, I do feel like they could use a little bit more shooting, right? Again, Anthony Simons, on paper, Anthony and Tyrese are their best shooters. They're shooting 38% from three, which again, shooting is encompassed with like other areas too, but 3-point shooting, sniper wise, it's Anthony and Tyrese. Kentavious and Dean, they're at 37. You know what I'm saying? Like JB at 36. It would be nice if they had somebody who can shoot 40% from three. That'll really space open the floor. And to be clear, that person is going to be able to get a lot of open shots too. Especially if they pair them with, like, remove VJ and put a shooter on that team that's shooting 40%. You lose the perimeter defense for sure. For sure. But on offense, that person's going to be like, who do you sag off on? It's like, bring up the ball with Braun. You got Tyrese, Jaylen, Joel Embiid. Although Joel don't shoot the best from three from the career, it's not like he can't knock down a three-ball, ladies and gentlemen. So again, like, a 40% shooter would be nice. I think they have enough defense, personally. But their biggest need is, will their egos be in check? Now, granted, again, some people have a chip on their shoulder. I think a lot of them do, actually. Like Joel Embiid does, Jaylen Brown does, Tyrese Maxey does, LeBron James does. So you want to showcase different things. Jaylen Brown, he just said he wanted to be the guy. Tyrese Maxey, you just had a breakout season last year, another one. At some point in time, I'm sure you'd like for it to be your team. Joel Embiid, this has been your team for quite a while. So if another person just comes onto the scene and takes over, how are you going to like that? LeBron, you're still in the GOAT conversation for some people. So if that's the case, can you afford to take a back seat? Because remember, players like Jordan, Kobe, even Timmy didn't quite take a back seat like this. Fourth option, that's tough. Third option is arguable. Like, maybe Timmy did third one time, maybe. But it's tough, especially in the GOAT discussions. So can everybody keep their egos in check? That's going to be interesting to note. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, LeBron James has signed with Philly. And for $8 million, too. For $8 million, he could have signed with the Lakers. It's not like I'm mad that he left. But if you were going to do that, bro, you could have done that with us, too. Like, that could have worked out. But, again, he's with the 76ers. So I'm curious, ladies and gentlemen, are you happy that LeBron James is on the 76ers? Was there a team that you wish he had played with outside of the 76ers? Do you think he made a wrong decision? Do you think the 76ers can win a championship within this 2-year window? Which year would it be? Year one, year two? Could they win? Could they go back to back? Let me know your thoughts. And also, who would win Finals MVP? I'm curious. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, like I said, that does conclude the end of the episode. So please make sure to like, subscribe, comment, tell anyone about the show. My name is Trey. I'm the host of Get a Bucket. I hope you are all having a good one. Take care.